Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hinse Brothers Mechanical YouTube channel. I'm here with Adrien Hinse, and today we wanted to talk about air conditioning in apartment buildings in Sherwood Park in Edmonton. So, let's get started. What specifically do people who are in apartments right now, owning apartments, who have ACs, what is something that they should know?
Yeah, there's a few variables. So if you don't already know, refrigeration requirements are changing. So they're coming out with new refrigerants and equipment is kind of slow to follow. When you're looking at condominiums in Edmonton and Sherwood Park, a lot of the systems are set up for a specific type of refrigerant. So the older R22 model or the 410A, they were kind of interchangeable. You could use it for either or. And today we still have some 410A refrigerant models available to us. So it's actually a good time to get one if you don't already have one, or replace the existing system you have. Trouble is the newer refrigerants will require updated equipment. So your evaporator coil. So it depends on the system you'd have. I'd have to come by and have a look at your system, but a lot of them that we've been working on, it's like a boiler fed system. It's got a fan coil in the above the mechanical room. And so that feeds, heat and cool into the house. It's a blower essentially with two different coils. You got a hot water coil that's fed by the boiler and a zone valve to control it on and off. And then you've got a evaporator coil. So that's your refrigerant coil. So that is specifically set up for a certain type of refrigerant. And if you have to switch to the new refrigerants, that means you probably have to replace that coil. These units came or they were installed and they had a coil already. So we'd be having to go back to the manufacturer and say, hey, have you caught up to the times? Have you got the new refrigerant model? So you may have to replace the entire fan coil or at least the evaporator coil in the future. So we can skip all that now, buy yourself some time till technology kind of catches up by sticking with the same refrigerant.
I see. So right now is a major opportunity. So let's say somebody has an AC and, their compressor outside, they have the old style, right? That is kind of noisy. You hear it when it goes up, uses more energy. Now is an opportunity for them to change that out to a mini split or a heat pump. Is that right?
Yeah, actually, so recently with like heat pump technology, the way it's gone, we're putting in a lot more heat pumps nowadays than we do air conditioners. Reasons are, especially in condos, they're very good because they can operate at lower ambient temperatures. So a regular air conditioner standard operates down to about 13 degrees outdoor temperature, then it shuts off, right? So we can put a low ambient kit on it, fan control, base, like a heater on it as well, block heater basically. Mm-hmm. And that could get it to operate between 0 and 5 degrees. But with a heat pump, it's got this equipment built into it already.
Okay. So
they can operate down to essentially minus 15 is pretty typical. So in the shoulder seasons where it's fall and spring and you're maybe 5 degrees or 0 outside, but hot inside, right, you have the ability to cool. And this equipment's designed to work in those temperatures. So the other thing is they're super quiet.
Yeah. Like
a side discharge unit, you used to be able to get air conditioners side discharge as well, but they've gone all to heat pumps. They operate, between 55 and 60 decibels outside. If you compare that to a standard air conditioner, they're about anywhere from 72 to 76 decibels. So it's a big difference. And a lot of condominiums actually have a requirement that they be under 60 or 60 decibels or quieter, right? So you have to keep that in mind. It's a good idea to look at your condo rules, your guidelines, right? And make sure you're within those. Oftentimes you have to do an application for a renovation type thing.
Right.
And then we will give you our information, our WCB, our letter of insurance as well. And you can hand that in and, makes the process a lot smoother. Not only is it condo buildings, but if you own a single home,
Right.
oftentimes the air conditioner doesn't have anywhere else to go but outside your bedroom.
Right.
Or next to your deck.
Yes.
Or something like that. And it ends up being disruptive to you. So with these heat pumps, they're a lot less disruptive. Like you barely notice you have one, right? And I've said this before. I had a loud air conditioner for quite a few years. It was nice. I was nice and cool. My neighbors didn't have an air conditioner. Yeah. They're always on their deck. And they have to talk over my air conditioner because I didn't really have any options when I put that in. Had I known there was a quieter version, I would have put it in. And when I was outside, I could hear it. It was quite loud. So I put the new heat pump in. And my neighbors are like, "Oh, did you get rid of your air conditioner or something?" I said, "No. Actually, I switched it for a heat pump." They're like, looks over the fence. He's like, "Wow, I can't even hear that thing." Right. So it's a big difference, and if you're looking for comfort, you got the cool. Comfort also includes noise.
That's right.
A big thing is noise. And a lot of the equipment out there nowadays, from furnaces to heat pumps, they're making them a lot quieter. So new technology, when they talk about added comfort, you're talking about softer airflow, you're talking about quieter equipment, more efficient. Like overall, you've got to kind of look at the big picture. What is this equipment doing for me, right?
Yeah, you bring up a good point regarding condo boards. So there's a lot of condominiums in Sherwood Park that have air conditioning systems, or at least the rough-ins for an air conditioning system. Right now would be the perfect time for a condo board to approach Hinse Brothers Mechanical to give them quotes for their homeowners in those condos to get that equipment switched out now, especially if it's older, right? Especially if it's like, say, 15 years old or so. It's probably time to get that switched over now rather than later when it's going to be a much greater expense.
And I anticipate this year being pretty much the last year of the 410A equipment. I'm already seeing a lot of supply shortages, evaporator coils, like it's just not available like it used to be. They're basically getting rid of old stock. Some of the manufacturers are still manufacturing them because they're allowed to. But for the most part, everything's changing over to 454B refrigerant or R32. And it's making things a little bit more difficult. Not so much on the furnace end, like they've got that figured out, but when it gets to existing equipment in a condo, like you're looking at replacing the fan coil and stuff when you didn't really have to. You could just put in the 410A equipment.
Right. So let's say somebody has a condo and they don't have the rough-ins, they don't have an AC. What does the process look like for them to get a mini split or heat pump put into their condo?
So ductless mini split, if you're not familiar with, they're becoming a lot more common in North America, super common in Asia. So they're basically, the best bet for a situation where your mechanical room's not on an outdoor wall. You've only got a small outdoor wall, so you don't have a lot of room to bring it through. You don't want to damage a lot of drywall. So with a ductless mini split, it's got an outdoor unit, just like what I talked about, super efficient, super quiet. And then indoors, we'd usually put in fan coils. So it'd be a wall-mounted unit. Your remote is actually your thermostat and your control. They're very quiet as well. You're not used to having a unit on the wall, but when it's, 40 degrees in your place, you're thankful to have it.
Especially if you're southwest facing, gets super hot. Our first apartment when we got married was west-southwest facing, and of course it was all boiler heated, and of course the boiler was off, but man, it got hot. We'd have to take cold showers just to stay cool in the apartment. It was ridiculous. So people can get that. And give us a range of what it would cost for somebody in an apartment to get a ductless mini split system? Just a range. Like, of course, you can't give an exact, but.
So we have different models, and, you know, we range probably from about the 7,000 mark up to, depends how many heads you want.
Right.
Like we have the ability, we've got units that are capable, depending on your power situation, of 3 to 4 heads. So we've got complexes, we put them in where you have one in the main bedroom, the second bedroom, and the living room. And you're able to dial in the temperature to what you like in each of those zones by having a single fan coil in each space, right? So it is different per unit, right? I'd have to come by, do a site visit. There'd be surface mounted wire, as well as refrigerant lines a little bit, depends on how we have to run them. But we do have casing that we use inside. You know, it's just like another border in your home. You know, it looks okay, but it gives you, you know, air conditioning.
Yeah. Well, it's a small price to pay to have some comfort in your place, especially in the, like you said, the shoulder seasons and in the summertime. It's nice to have the option to cool off your master bedroom or your main area in your condo. Yeah,
life is, you know, it's sad to say it's a little short. Why not be comfortable when you're living it?
That's right.
Right. I wouldn't go back to a home without air conditioning. You know, I work hard. I put a lot of hours in. I get hot. When I come home, I want it to be my sanctuary. I want to be able to dial in the temperature exactly where I like it and be comfortable, sleep well, and, you know, not have to go sleepless nights and, you know, for the, you know, a month, a year, whatever it is. And people think, you know, it's only 2 to 3 weeks a year where I'm hot. I'm like, I don't know about you, but for myself, the air conditioner or my heat pump runs from May typically, or even sometimes April through October.
Yeah.
Like it won't run as much, but it's just keeping that temperature where I want it, right?
Yeah, because sometimes we have really nice falls, right? In Canada, and, you know, September, you can still experience 25, 28 degrees in September. And, you know, not having that air conditioner, it just extends the amount of sleepless nights or very sweaty nights that you have. Was there anything else that you wanted to talk about regarding the air conditioning for condominiums and apartments?
There's different types of systems as well. Like sometimes you've got all-in-one heat pump systems, Climate Masters, Magic Pack. You know, we take care of all that type of equipment. You know, and unfortunately, the costs of those are going up. If your unit's about 20 years old, their lifespan's about 20 years old, a lot of that equipment. And it's probably a good time to think about it. You know, I've got, I'm going over tomorrow to see a client, and they've got about six different units that all need replacement units, right? So we can even do lump sum discounts, you know, if you guys get together and you're like, hey, you know, we all want to do this at the same time. It saves us time doing the installs. It saves us a little bit of work. We pass the savings on to you guys, right? Nice. And, you know, we like to give options to people and work with you and see if we can make a deal.
That's great. So if you're looking for a bulk discount, that can happen if you have a condominium and you're looking to get AC and a number of you want to change out your units. Talk to Adrien at Hinse Brothers Mechanical. You can go to hinsemechanical.com and fill out the form, or just click on the number to call and you'll get through to the team and schedule a consultation with Adrien, and he'll come out and give you guys a good estimate and show you what your options are for cooling yourselves in your apartment or condo, whether you're in Sherwood Park or Edmonton. Thanks so much, Adrien. Appreciate you stopping by and chatting with us. And guys, we'll see you on the next video.
Thank you.